I'm meteorologist Chris Warren.
And I'm meteorologist Jen Delgado. It is Thursday, December 22nd. The clock is ticking if you have any more of that holiday shopping, because we have another storm system on the west, and that's going to spell some trouble for you and your holiday travel plans. All right, so looking at winds that strong and potentially very dangerous and potentially even deadly situation. So don't even go out on the roadways. Just going to have to wait this out. For tomorrow, it's going to be a rough one for California. We're going to see rain and thunderstorms working through, including Northern California. As we start off early in the morning on Friday, maybe you're flying out. Expect to see some wind delays and potentially rain delays. As the storms shift to the south, you can start to see a little bit of that line starting to set up, moving through Los Angeles, San Diego. So don't be surprised if you actually hear some thunder. We expect to see some of those storms with it, also bringing potentially some of the stronger winds. And the same for Phoenix as well as Tucson, as that continues to sweep over towards the east. Of course, to the north, higher elevations, is going to be snowfall. But for Sunday, we look ahead. Of course, it's Christmas Day, and any of the storms you see out there potentially could be bringing with it some hail around, as well as some stronger winds from Salina as well as into Fort Smith. But again, we're not expecting anything too severe, but make sure you're aware of the weather forecast, because it's going to be a wet one for you Christmas Day and the day after for all you crazy shoppers out from the winds. And of course, you don't want to be out there because visibility is going to be absolutely possibly down to 0. So just keep it at home, just like Mark said. All right, so we want to update you on some of the blizzard watches, and now they've been expanded to include Grand Forks. So if you're in this purple area, just, make your plans ahead of time, because you don't want to be caught out with winds just whipping around. We're talking about wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour. Snowfall amounts 3 to 5 inches. Some locations about 8 to 12, even a foot or more setting up. So when you combine in those strong winds and even some of those sustained winds up to about 35, the visibility is just not going to be there. And look at those winds, as you can show you, as that low starts to come through with those winds 40 to 50, including Rapid City. And it looks like the core of the stronger winds are going to be anywhere between 3 and 6 o'clock, probably right around the time you're thinking about grabbing dinner and eating at home and maybe heading out to your families. Just keep it indoors if you can. Chris.
Arctic outbreak that we were dealing with, and even a little bit of a thaw can cause some big problems like that.
Yeah, we saw that setting up across parts of the Midwest right now. We want to thank you so much for watching Weather Center Live. I'm Jen Delgado.
And I'm Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Well, we saw the view coming out live and the snowfall coming down. A lot of people want a white Christmas. They just want to be able to see outside. They don't want the blizzard conditions, right?
I guess it's kind of romantic in a way to have a raging storm outside.
It is, I guess.
And this is going to be quite a storm here across the northern plains. What's interesting is that you've got blizzard watches up, and people probably think on some level, well, that must mean a couple of feet of snow.
Right.
And it could mean a couple of feet of snow, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, because
inches don't matter.
Yeah, because what defines a blizzard is the wind, the duration of the wind, 3 hours, 35 mile per hour wind, and quarter-mile visibility. And we think that that is what happens here in South Dakota and North Dakota come Christmas Day. So it really is going to be life-threatening weather.
Yeah, a lot of people always think too that it's going to be extremely cold or something like that when they think about blizzard, and that has nothing really to do with it.
No, it doesn't. But if it is colder, it is easier to get a blizzard. There's no question about that, because when it's really cold, the snow tends to be more powdery, and it fills the air a lot more. Whereas if you're just at marginal temperatures, then the snow tends to clump and leaves a little more clear air. But a big part of this is this very strong area of low pressure. All of these lines are lines of equal pressure, and when you see a lot of them very tightly packed like that, there's a really big difference in pressure from this high to the low. And the atmosphere doesn't like that.
It says,
I want to fix that.
Two people not getting along, and then the one is coming for the other one. That's what it's like at the holidays.
Exactly right. And so, the greater that pressure differential, the more wind it's going to create to try to equal that out. So this is a look at the model forecast showing you the wind. Already picking up Sunday morning, and then it really starts ramping up in the afternoon, then 50 to 60 miles per hour from late afternoon into the evening. That means probably gusting to 70, 80 in some spots.
Sustained 39.
Yes.
I mean, that's big.
That is cranking, no doubt about that. And then finally it lifts up here going into Monday morning and begins to let up somewhat. Now in Rapid City, right now we're thinking it's going to be somewhere in the order of about 5 to 8 inches. So not a tremendous amount of snow, but again, it doesn't take that.
No, it doesn't.
It's just going to be that it's blowing around, but we will see quite a bit of snow in North Dakota.
South Dakota, they're going to get crushed.
Foot of snow there easily, And also freezing rain is going to be an issue in Minneapolis in the mid morning hours, 9, 10, somewhere around there. Not a whole lot of freezing rain, but it doesn't take a whole lot to cause big problems. And this storm is now just about ready to come on shore. So there we go through late tonight and early tomorrow morning, snow developing there in the Cascades.
San Francisco, rare treat of some thunder, huh?
Yes, indeed.
All right, we'll be right back with Weather Underground.